First of all, I would like to express my thanks to Marion Cohen for inviting me to this celebration. I was, really very much, feel privileged. I was a one-time former member of East Asia Institute about 20 years ago. I still remember that every morning, I walk into my office, which is slightly bigger than shoebox, adjacent to Tom Bernstein's corner office. And every morning I walk past Marion Cohen's office and say hello. So it's a homecoming, kind of feeling for me being here today. I'm going to talk about how to position Taiwan in East Asia around, say, 2025, 15 years from now. Right now, we are at the end of the first decade of the 21st century. Okay, if you can try to find one expression, to describe the last decade, I would say it was a decade full of surprises. We have witnessed so many surprises and events will have epoch, the significance have taken place one by one. So in a way, the history unfolds itself at a breathtaking pace. And I'm sure that trend will actually continue for the coming decade. And that will pose a lot of challenge for Taiwan as Taiwan tries to reposition itself in the region. Let me say a few words about why I picked this 15 years framework. I think, first of all, I don't want to talk about the near-term prognosis. On the other hand, if we talk about 20, 30 years, it's too far away to be really meaningful. But 15 years is, I would say, will be a very appropriate time frame for us to think about, what kind of cumulative effect, of those changes that we are witnessing right now, might foster a structural shift. And if you think about it, you might want to ask the following question. Number one, given the rapid transformation in China, and whether the current political system, will stay the same, or it will eventually reach the threshold of democratic opening and transition. Also, at the same time, you can ask questions about what will happen to the triangular relationship among Taiwan, mainland China, and United States. Whether this triangular relationship will reach a critical juncture in 10 to 15 years for major realignment as asymmetry in the cross-strait political equation becomes so lopsided. Obviously in Beijing's favor, and China will become too strong for the United States to balance. And also, a related question is whether Taiwan citizenry will be able to sustain their will and confidence to withstand Beijing's unification campaign. These are all very important questions that we have to address, when you think about where to locate Taiwan in East Asia 15 years from now. But at the same time, I also want to emphasize another important change which is bound to happen. That in 15 years, we will witness a marked generational shift on both sides of Taiwan Strait. In Taiwan, the pre-war generation will all pass away, and baby boomer generation, which include me, will mostly retire. And Taiwan new generation, some people say that E generation or even younger cohort might be labeled as strawberry generation. Sounds familiar? They will, come to the forefront. But this will be a generation that will have a very different sense of history, okay, very different impression about China, about mainland China. And also in mainland China, the Red Guard generation were mostly retired and the first generation of the reform era. Also, some people say this is the one-child, household generation. But also including many returnee who receive extensive education abroad. They will also come to the fore. So this generationship might open up many new possibilities. Sometimes might even beyond our current imagination. I think for Taiwan, the big challenge is how the island should adapt itself to a new order in East Asia. I think, assuming the economic growth in China will continue for another 15, 20 years, I think it's not. Some people say this is a rosy, scenario, but lots of others, think is very likely to happen. If that's the case, then I think we will have to adapt ourselves to a China-led Asian economic community. China, is becoming the principal architect of multilateral arrangement in the region, including the forthcoming, East Asian Free Trade Agreement. The RMB might emerge as a very important reserve currency in the region 10 to 15 from now. At least, internationalization of the RMB is taking place at a very fast speed. There will be more RMB denominated treasury to be issued through Hong Kong. And also there will be more currency swap agreement between China and its trading partner in the region. So many more bilateral trade might be transacted, in the RMB. And also, I think we will see a very clear-cut transition from currently Sino-Japan dual leadership in terms of constructing this East Asian economic community to a more Sino-centric community. In the security domain, I think that in 10 to 15 years, the China Blue Water Navy will come strong and become a very important factor in shaping the security configuration in the region. And also, we are witness already, a shift from U.S. dominant to U.S.-China co-management over regional security affairs. So this is something Taiwan, have to cope with. In larger context, this probably would what the contour of the world economy might look like. This projection is based on a very important publication written by Angus Madison, one of the best-known economists, studying the long-term economic growth, and also he's one of the principal architect of the purchasing power parity measurement, advising World Bank and other international organizations. According to his estimation, although this is based on some linear projection, that the Chinese economy in real term, that's a PPP, purchasing power parity term, will constitute about 18% of the world economy, and United States will actually about the same scale. Western Europe will shrink relatively. Japan economy will also, relatively speaking, become much smaller. So this will be, one of the possible scenarios that we will have to cope with. Also, in terms of PPP GDP, right now Taiwan's economy is about 1/12 of China. Okay. In nominal term, we are about 1/7, okay, but the real term, we're about 1/12. Assuming that China will continue to grow on average about 8% a year for for some time, and Taiwan will be able to grow on average about 4%, then around 2025, the Chinese economy will be about 22 times as big as Taiwan's economy. Okay, so that's why some pessimistic, the scholar, come up with this kind of prediction. They talk about the Finlandization of Taiwan. For instance, that in recent Foreign Affairs article, Bruce Gillett, he used that, expression. So he worried that, well, maybe he doesn't really worry, but he's just doing this crude-headed, projection that Taiwan, China have been moving to closer economic, political embrace, and he predicts that this strengthening relationship will lead to the Finlandization, that is, accommodating China's vital interests in much the same way Finland has succumbed to Soviet Union grand strategy during the Cold War. Well, some scholars might even argue that, well, Taiwan challenge might be more complicated than what Finland, faced before. Finland didn't, economically speaking, much dependent on Soviet Union at all. Okay, you only have how to cope with this, 500-pound gorilla, living next door with nuclear power. But obviously, the pace of economic integration across trade will accelerate, especially after ECFA. And I'm pretty sure that a fully fledged free trade agreement between the two sides will be signed in less than 10 years, maybe in less than 5 years. If the steam, heating up. And so in the future, China will be more than just a production platform for exporting Taiwanese firm. In the future, in the cross-trade economic chain, a major player from here will be Taiwanese conglomerate, retail chain, and service industry focusing on the Chinese market. And this market will enable some Taiwanese firms to grow into world-class giants. Like Rentai, might become Walmart of tomorrow, okay? President Food Company will become General Mills of tomorrow. Cafe 85 Celsius, will become Starbucks of tomorrow, okay? It's all, something like to happen. And also, the foreign direct investment from mainland and Chinese tourist spending will become vital to Taiwan's service industry and real estate. By one estimate that every 25 tourists, coming over from mainland China will create one job in the service sector. This year we're going to receive 1.6 million, most likely. And I think in 5 years, I won't be surprised if we receive 3 million or even 4 million tourists from mainland China each year. And also another possibility is that intensify monetary and financial links across the trade. The new Taiwan dollar will be a de facto peg to the renminbi in the future rather than to US dollar. And obviously this creates a lot of, I would say, challenge for the Taiwan political system to handle. Number one, we will have to live with a lot of new constraints, okay, whether you like it or you don't like it. Taiwan can no longer discriminate against mainland visitor, talents, capital, and firm. Okay, if you want to do that, you have to pay the price dearly. Nor can any future democratically elected leader politically upset at will. Okay, upset Beijing at will, and at the same time upset the vast mainland Chinese customer without significant economic consequences. Taiwan's municipality will be more susceptible to Beijing's political influence, and Beijing will enjoy tremendous capacity to cajole Taiwan's local politicians and grassroots organization. A few days from now, that more than probably 3,000 to 4,000 Taiwanese local grassroots NGO leaders will on their way to Xiamen, attending the second street forum. So this is just one footnote to this general observation. And also Taiwan have to face a lot of unfavorable domestic trend, something Richard Bush has already adequately covered, so I will skip them right away. But all challenge will come with opportunity as well. Okay, risk, opportunity at the same time. Obviously, I think Taiwan for the next 10 to 15 years will continue to benefit from the booming Asian economy, which will enjoy robust growth for another 2 decades, I hope. And Taiwan can make best out of the expanding buying power of China's urban population. Taiwan can also capitalize on its cultural capital as Chinese, the language, emerge as second international language in the region. There will be growing demand for Chinese content on the internet. There will be expanding market for Mandarin-based higher education, entertainment, pop culture, and creativity industry. And also I think that Taiwan will be able to meet the challenge of embarking on a knowledge-based economy by retooling its competitive edge. And also I also believe that, I bet Danny Simon would talk more on this at the following session. Taiwan will be in a good position to ride on the surging demand for green technology worldwide, especially in the area of solar energy, LED, electrical car, green architecture, and e-book. So how we be able to find, a more positive scenario for Taiwan? I would say if our politician will be able to make a lot of right decision, right policy. Okay, something not should be taken for granted. But let's assuming that might happen. Maybe not only entirely, but substantially. I would say Taiwan will be able to maintain close economic and cultural ties with the world's 3 largest economies: United States, Japan, and China. Taiwan will remain a key interlocutor in coordinating the production network in East Asia for the world market. Taiwan will be able to join East Asian economic communities through a web of bilateral free trade agreement, although not a formal member of many multilateral organizations in the region. Taiwan will be home of some leading high-tech firms and firms enjoying competitive edge or ever dominant position in some sector of Chinese market. And Taiwan will be widely regarded as the place to find the best business partner for multinational corporation eager to grab a share of Chinese market. And also I think one of the strong suits that will continue to work in Taiwan's favor is Taiwan's soft power. I do believe that Taiwan possesses significant potential in steering the future course of cross-strait relation, despite of the growing asymmetry in the distribution of hard power. That means military hardware or tangible economic capacity. I think that this island is inherited with cultural and linguistic heritage. And also with the acceleration of economic integration, growing cross-strait social network, and expansion of shared cultural space will make Taiwan-based political, economic, and social actor powerful agent of change in shaping China's future. Taiwan can serve as China's model of social, political pluralism, future and free media, autonomous civil organization, open political consultation, and unconstrained individual freedom. And also I think that Taiwan's private sector will facilitate China's political liberalization, especially through the transmission and dissemination of information, idea, and practical knowledge. And I think this will happen across very different social sector, from religious to charity, to environmental issue, and so on and so forth. And also remember that we will be welcoming many, many more tourists and visitors from mainland China. I think not only will spend money here, boosting local economy, but also when they go home, they will have a very deep impression about this society, and the way of life, and the kind of value that we really cherish. So I do believe that the cross relation will basically, enter into an era of mutual adjustment accommodation. I know my time is almost up. I have to wrap up pretty quickly. But But basically, I think that in the next 10 to 15 years, Beijing will continue to be preoccupied with domestic challenge and feel little sense of urgency to solve the Taiwan issue for good. And also, I believe that peaceful right will remain Beijing's guiding principle in managing external relationship. On the other side of Taiwan trade, I think majority of times populists also have no burning desire to break out of state quo. That is, we are being able to enjoy de facto independence, and Taiwan's engagement with mainland China will be conducive to enriching the latter's understanding and appreciation of the aspiration and concern of the people in Taiwan. Over time, I hope that Beijing will learn not just how to live with, but also work with Taiwan democracy. And most importantly, I hope that Taiwan democracy will become more mature and its popularly elected leader more responsible and less ideological. Thank you for your attention. Yeah.